Good day and welcome. So before I hand over the reins to Richard, I'd like to just touch on what we're going to be covering in this training course, all the modules and all the sections that we need to get through in order for you to become a successful network marketer. The first thing we're going to get into is that multi-level marketing is a serious business. The first part of this section is that we identify the things that we want and the things that we don't want out of the perfect and ultimate business. Next, we identify where you are at the moment. You could be a blue collar or white collar worker. You could be a salesperson, or you could be a business owner. Following this, we identify that having a business is absolutely essential. We dive into Robert Kiyosaki's book, The Cash Flow Quadrant, where we identify the employee, the self-employed, the business owner, and the investor. Then, we dive into what it means to actually set up a multi-level marketing business. And then we discuss how to leverage other people's time so that you can create a residual income for yourself. And finally, we identify and outline all the effort that is required to become a successful connector within Dream Team. Being a Dream Team connector is an opportunity to earn while you learn. The quicker that you can complete the courses with a full understanding, the quicker that you can go out there to sell and build immense teams. Congratulations once again, and good luck for the future. Richard, I'm handing this over to you.
Hi folks, today we start our training and I'm looking very forward to taking you through this training and sharing all of the insights that we have with you and trying to help you become successful. But before we get started, there's a couple of things I want to point out. Number one is I wasn't there when you got recruited. So if the person who recruited you told you that you could do nothing and make a lot of money, then you need to go and have a word with them, because honestly, if you want to succeed in anything in life, there's work involved, and MLM is no exception. In order for you to succeed, you're going to have to put in some effort. The second thing is that you're going to have to develop some skills. Now, we are here to help you with those skills, and this is what this training course is all about. But if you don't go out and actually finish this training course and then implement what we teach you, then you've only got yourself to blame, because those skills are going to be what creates the opportunity for you to succeed. So with that in mind, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and do a deep dive into multi-level marketing and into how we are going to go about helping you be successful. And what I'm asking you to do is to apply yourself, put your heart and soul into it. And if you do that, I can guarantee you these techniques are going to take you to a place where you are successful within the business. So having said that, let's dive in. So I'm going to start off by talking to you about how to be serious about this business and why this business is such a serious business. And at this point, I'm going to be reading off my slides, so I'm going to have to put my glasses on. Sorry for that. But they tell me my glasses make me look more intelligent, and in actual fact, I need all the help I can get. So here we go. The first thing I'd like you to do is I would like you to just pause the video right now. I know we've only just got started, but I want you to pause the video and I want you to ask yourself, if you could wave a magic wand and have the ultimate business, what is it that you don't want in that business? If you're trying to paint a picture of what the ultimate business is, what are the things that you don't want? Now, what I want you to do is pause the video and then write a list of all the things that you don't want. And then come back to me and we will go through the list that I've created. Okay, I'm going to presume that you paused the video and you're back with me. So this is the list that I've created. So when I wrote down what I don't want from a perfect business, I said, well, I don't want a boss, and I don't want to have to commute. The concept of commuting to and from work is a real pain. I don't want alarm clocks. I don't want employees. I don't want the politics that comes with an office. I don't want to have to compromise my ethics and beliefs. I don't want discrimination. I don't want to be discriminating against people or being discriminated against. I don't want to have a massive and very expensive education to be able to succeed. Now, you might have a lot of other things that you wrote down, and those are all good, because those are the things that you don't want. Of course, the next thing I want you to do is pause this and then write down a list of all of those things you would like from the perfect business. So have a look at what is it that you would really want. If you could have the perfect business, wave a wand and have all of the things that you want in a perfect business, what would that look like? Okay, pause the video and write those things down. Okay, welcome back. So these are the list of things that I wrote down. So I wanted to be surrounded by positive people. There's nothing more wonderful in the world than having a lot of positive people around you. I wanted to have great products or services. I wanted to have unlimited income. I don't want to be curtailed by how much I can earn. I want to have residual income, time freedom, doing something meaningful with my life, doing something to help other people. I want to have personal growth, so I want to develop as a person. I want to have the opportunity to travel internationally. I want it to be low risk. I don't want to be risking my shirt on having the ultimate business. I want low startup costs. And most of all, I want to have fun. Now, again, that doesn't have to be your list. That's my list. And you can actually choose what it is that you want to see in your perfect business. But it's really important that you write this down, because when we move forward with this business, you need to be able to refer back to that and say, am I living my perfect business? Is what's happening in my life fitting into this perfect business? So it's a measure for you to come back to. And as we go through this training course, we will refer back to this as a perfect business. Now, there are 4 different kind of job categories, and I'm sure you fit into one of these 4. You can either be a blue-collar worker, a white-collar worker, a salesperson, or you've got your own business, a small business. Now, I'm going to go through each of these, and you can have a look at see where you fit in on this. So a blue-collar worker is a worker who is engaged in hard manual labor, typically agriculture, manufacturing, construction, mining, or maintenance, something like that. Now, what I'd like you to do is I would like you to think through, if you're a blue-collar worker, you can pause this video now and think through what that looks like for you. What does being a blue-collar worker look like for you? Do you have to get up at a specific time? Do you have to rock up at work? Are you really appreciated at your work? Is the work that you're doing fulfilling? Now, it might well be. My father worked on the railways for many years as a shop fitter doing the railway carriages, and it was very fulfilling for him. He loved working with his hands. So I have no problems with people who are working with their hands, and I think it can be amazingly fulfilling. So I'm not dissing this at all, but what I'd like you to do is write down a list of how you feel about this job. Is it fulfilling you? Are you earning the kind of money you think you deserve? Is your boss appreciating you the way they should appreciate you? Do you have enough time to do the things that you love in life? Are you creating enough money to be able to retire at the age of 65 and live out the rest of your days in comfort? So write down a list of what this job looks like for you, and then come back to me. Okay, welcome back. So the question is, when you wrote this down, if you compare it to the list of your ultimate business, how does this compare? When you overlay what you're doing as a blue-collar worker with your list of your perfect business, how do they match up? And if they match up perfectly, wow, you found the most wonderful business in the world, and you should stick to it. But if they don't match up perfectly, you need to consider that there are better ways out there. Right, let's have a look at white-collar workers. White-collar worker refers to a person or a worker who performs professional desk, managerial, or administrative work and does that typically from an office environment. So that's white-collar worker. Now, you might be a white-collar worker, and again, I have no problems with that. The question that you need to ask yourself is, what does that look like? So again, just shut off the video, write down a list of what that looks like for you. I'm not going to go through all the details. We went through it on the blue-collar worker side, but write down what that looks like for you. When you finish doing that, we'll compare that to how the perfect job would look or the perfect business would look and see where the two overlap. Okay, take a moment to do that now. Right, so is your white-collar work the ultimate business? Do you think that you are going to be retiring at 65, financially independent? Are you getting up every day to make sure that you are living your dreams, or are you getting up every day to ensure that the owner of the company is living their dreams? Is this something that you can do for the rest of your life, be fulfilled at the end of the day, and know that you did everything that was possible to? Next, let's look at sales. Now, I was in sales for many, many, many years. So this is an area that I know quite well. I'm quite intimately acquainted with it. So a salesperson, according to Wikipedia, is a person who works in sales with the main function of selling product or services, either by visiting the locations, by telephone, or in an in-store environment. So that's a salesperson. Now, if you look at what sales is all about, and you write down a list of how that looks for you, and I'll talk about myself for a moment, I know that there was always high stress because I had to make the sales in order to earn the money. I also know that the bosses generally were prepared to move the goalposts to ensure that I was always having to work harder to achieve the goals that they were setting for me, and that they could continually pay me less if I didn't hit those higher goals. I know that it was a really tough environment and very high stress in terms of getting towards the end of the month and not having met my targets. So for me, sales was a very difficult environment. I was successful in it, but wow, it was stressful. Now, I don't know how that looks for you. Maybe this is different for you, but you should write down a list of what you love about your job, what you hate about your job, what you'd love to change, and then what we're going to do is compare it to the ultimate business and see how they compare to your list of what you want from the ultimate business. Okay, you can pause the video now and just take a look at that. Lastly, we're going to look at small business. When you look at small businesses, a small business is a person who has a job or small business in which they are the magic. In other words, to ascertain whether or not you have a small business, you have to ask yourself, if I left the business for 12 months, what state would the business be in when I got back? Now, if you're a doctor, or you're a lawyer, or you're an accountant, or you're any kind of professional out there, and you go away, you're the magic in your business, and you go away for 12 months, you don't have a business. If you own a small mom and pop shop, or you own a franchise and you're running a franchise, or you've got some other small business where you are the magic, you go away for 12 months, your business is gone by the time you get back. So if that is where you're sitting, you can't convince yourself that you have a business. What you've got to realize is that if that is where you are, all you do is you own a job, nothing else. You have a job that you go to every day that you have to do. You work for yourself. You own that job. Instead of somebody else paying you, you pay yourself. And if you have a look at it, when you pay out salaries, everybody else gets salaries first. If there's money left over, you get paid. If there's overtime to be done, probably you're the one doing it. If there's something that needs to be paid for, an investment needs to be made, you're the one that's doing the investment. So the whole weight of this business sits on your shoulders, and you cannot leave it, because if you leave it, you're gone. So that's what a small business is. So what I'd like you to do again, just pause the video, write down what it is you like about your small business, what it is that you don't like about your small business, what you'd like to change, and how that compares to the dream business that we wrote down right in the beginning. Does it compare? Are there overlaps? Are there things that the dream business really would change your life on? So this is not the ultimate business. Generally, small businesses are extremely difficult. I know, I've run some. So there's a guy called Robert Kiyosaki. He wrote a book called The Cash Flow Quadrant, which I recommend highly that you read. It's an amazing book. I've read it several times over the years. Now, he starts off talking about the first two kinds of people, which is the employees. This is people who work for a living, and the self-employed. Now, 60% of people are employees. And if you have a look at it, what they're doing is they are selling their time for money. So now, The most valuable asset you have in the world, bar none, is your time. So there's no more valuable asset in your world. Your time is the most valuable asset. And so when you're an employee, what you do is you say to somebody else, you say, listen, I will trade you my time for a paycheck. And understand, you don't get paid what you're worth because you're priceless. So nobody's going to pay anybody what they're worth. What they pay you is what the job is worth. They pay you what the company can afford to pay you to do this job, this activity that they're asking you to do. So what you do is you sell your time for money. And at the end of the day, you work a day, you've got a few rand in your pocket, you spend that few rand, you cannot get that time back. It's gone forever. Now, 60% of people have a job. And it's okay to have a job. I don't have a problem with people having a job. It's fantastic. You need to put food on your table. You need to put a roof over your head. But there is a better way. Then the next group of people, about 35% of people, they are self-employed. And as I said earlier on, those are people who are working for themselves. And again, this is a situation of trading time for money. If you don't work, your business will go under, you don't earn. So everything on the left side of the diagram is all about trading time for money. 95% of people do that, and you might be in that situation. What you actually want to be in is a business. Now, only 4% of the population has a business. Now, I want to just explain to you the difference between having a small business or being self-employed and having a proper business. Now, in a small business, you leverage your time in order to generate money. In a proper business, you are not the magic. If you don't rock up to work, your business still runs. If you don't get up in the morning, your business still runs. Because what you do in a business is you leverage other people's time and you leverage systems to generate cash flow, which then brings an income in for you. Now, if you have a look at real businesses, take any of the big retail companies, the shareholders and the board of directors and the people who are at the top of those businesses, whether they're there or not, those businesses run. They don't have to be on the floor at Pick and Pay or at Edgar's or at wherever in order for that business to run. That business runs because they are leveraging other people's time. They're leveraging IT systems and stock systems and warehousing systems. They're leveraging that to generate an income for them. So they earn obscene amounts of money, which is fantastic, got no problem with that, but they do it whether they're there or not. Now that's the secret of a business. And what we want to talk about in this training session is how do you go from being an employee or self-employed to actually having a business where whether you're there or not, you earn money. So the whole idea is to say, what does this look like? How can I structure my business in such a way that it fits that definition of the ultimate business? And to be quite honest with you, in all of my years of running companies, I've never seen anything that fits the ultimate business description like what we're doing. It's actually quite amazing. So your goal is to move from employment or self-employment to a business owner. Now, that doesn't happen without effort, guys. As I said to you in the beginning, if you don't work, you are never going to set up a business that runs whether you're there or not. So there's going to be a period of time where you have to graft your backside off in order to succeed. And I don't want to be one to say to you, hey, this is some sort of gamble. You can put your money down and hope for the best. That is not how it works. How it works is that you develop skills, you put your back into it, you work your guts out for a period of time, you set the systems up the way we show you, and at some point, this becomes a business where you don't actually have to be involved in it on a full-time basis. You can touch it now and again, and this business will generate you a really wonderful income. Around 1% of people will take their money that they've earned and invest it. And this is a point where money will make money. So in a business, you are leveraging systems and people to generate money. But when you become an investor, you leverage money to make money. Now, what you do with your money, absolutely your business. I don't want to get involved in that, but I'm going to say to you that some people will take the money they earn and they will buy fancy cars and fancy houses and go on fancy holidays, and they will blow their money in that way. My recommendation to you is don't do that. Take your money and invest it into rental property or into good investments. Can be in the stock market, wherever. Invest your money wisely so that you become an investor, so that at some point you literally never have to work a day in your life again. Now, the reason that only 1% of the population gets there is not because it's only possible for 1% to get there. It's because 99% of people either don't put in the work, don't learn the skills, or just go and blow their cash on frivolous things. So when you see that 1% of people who've got 90% of the money, don't think badly of them. Realize that these guys have put everything they have into making themselves successful, and be encouraged that you can do the same. Be encouraged that it is possible to achieve those great heights. Be encouraged because these people who get this top 1%, they put their trousers on one leg at a time. They have got 2 eyes, 1 nose, 2 ears, exactly the same as you have. They have 1 brain, same as you have. The difference is what they're doing, what they're choosing to do, how they're choosing to educate themselves. What they are doing to make themselves successful is the difference between them and you. If you are choosing to carry on working in your job and not put in the effort that's required, you need to understand that's a choice you are making. If you choose to squander your money, that is a choice you are making. I'm saying to you that if you prepared to put in the effort here and work hard with us, and we will be in your corner, you can get yourself to a point where you're a business owner earning more money than you're spending, and you'll be able to take that excess money, invest it in solid investments, and set yourself financially free. Get yourself out of the rat race. Because remember, even if you win the rat race, you're still a rat. In this situation, you can set yourself free, you can have time freedom, you can have financial freedom, and you can do the things that you love. You can create the ultimate business.